22.
Welcome to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream co-sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. I'm on the phone here with U.S. Representative Brad Halbrook. Welcome back to the program, Representative Halbrook.
Hey, thanks for having me, Avery. How's things going?
They're going pretty good. A little rainy. We're in the middle of basketball season, staying busy, games almost every night. It's been a lot of fun. But I wanted to ask you what's going on with you over in Springfield.
Well, it's picking up in momentum. And, we should have been in Springfield a lot more here the last 5 weeks, but a lot of days except one has been canceled. But we do go back on the 15th, next Tuesday. But all that said is, there still has been a tremendous amount of committee work going on. And we can talk about a few bills about that here before the hour's up. But, of course, big news, I think, that happened this last week was the circuit court decision in Sangamon County about the mask mandate.
Yeah, that's a big decision. And it's my big thing with it, right, is it's a little bit convoluted, right? Because my understanding of it is that let's see. The school districts in the lawsuit can remove their masks, but it also says at the very end of the ruling that because the ISBE's and et cetera's policy is now void, schools can govern themselves on their own policy. I just want to make sure I'm not mischaracterizing that.
Well, so I can understand that, and I can see kind of how two different perspectives can do that two different ways. I mean, school boards kind of been able to govern themselves, and I guess the way I look at that is, they're not just wanting some unilateral rules. Okay, now Springfield sends down a lot of mandates that work themselves through the General Assembly and that the governor signs, but then they can set some policy, kind of in and around some of that. However, it may be fairly restrictive. But I think what this is, my understanding would be that the judge has said, look, you have the ability to govern themselves, meaning that, you're not going to get unilateral one-person rule telling you what to do.
That is the summary of the ruling. It just takes a long time for the judge to get to that. And there's a bunch of other implications in the front. And I just think for some, it was the main summary of that ruling is lost in all the legal jargon and text and stuff. But to summarize, you said it, schools can govern themselves on their own.
Right. And I think people, and I understand this, kind of get wrapped up. Well, I wasn't a party to the suit, so it doesn't affect me or my kids or my school, or, if I'm an administrator or a board member, say, look, I'm not a party to that suit. That was a big discussion late last weekend. And so, but the problem is due process is due process, right? And that's what this case was about. And this is what we've talked about for nearly 2 years, 20 plus months, is 20 ILCS 2305 2A, B, and C, that there is a process that if your business gets shut down or you're to be quarantined, that the local health department is a vital role in this. They are the supreme authority. This is what we've talked about for nearly 24 months. It's actually about middle April of 2020. And there's a due process to make sure that people's rights aren't violated. And that's what's happened here. And I think that's why the judge ruled like the judge ruled, is their individual due process rights have been violated. All that said to say this, my understanding would be, okay, so there's all these hundreds of parents and students and schools that were a part of this. Is the families and the schools that weren't a part of do they have different due process rights? No, logic would tell us that they have the same due process rights. It just was these other entities that joined together in this suit. That's the way I view it.
Right. And it's funny because, let's see, that ruling came Saturday, right? I just want to make sure I have my timeline right.
Well, it would have been
Friday night.
Today, I believe. Yeah.
Right. And so then this week, Governor Pritzker says, well, school masks we're going to keep fighting for, but we're going to start rolling back masks elsewhere in indoor settings. And oh man, I don't really even know what to say about that. It feels, I'm not sure. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, so I think the facts are, I think Illinois now is one of 8 states left in the nation that are still imposing some kind of a mass mandate on their schools. Again, you've got a judge that spoke about that, that says it's null and void. And I don't understand what the governor doesn't understand about null and void. And this idea that we're going to roll it back. I mean, it's pretty simple that it's trust the science, and the science hasn't changed, or at least the medical science hasn't changed. The political science has changed. And all of a sudden, we're going to see these leaders that have had one person control for nearly 2 years. They're starting to see the winds of the political change here, that this is not where people want to be for the rest of their lives. They see that there's no end to this, and they want change, and they want it now. And so I think they're sensing that there's going to be long-term political implications that's not friendly to their team. And so things are starting to change for them.
When you say the political science is changing, what do you mean about that a little bit more specifically?
Yeah, I think the polling is indicating that people are done and tired with this. The mask thing is not working. The CDC director has talked about the vaccination doesn't decrease the spread. I just heard yesterday about this comedian that was talking on stage about being multi-vax and on and on and on. And she's had no negative implications from that. And she collapses on stage just a few days ago or last weekend. People are seeing these things, that there are some immediate health effects, and they don't really know what the long-term health effects are to an unproven experimental use vaccination, or they had to redefine what vaccination, because the sense of this treatment is not a true vaccine. And so we're seeing some of those things that people are just kind of like starting to pull the curtain back, and they're saying, wait a minute, something doesn't look right here to us.
When you say it's not a true vaccine, though, you mean by it's a new vaccine technology, and that the true vaccine in which you're referring to, in which many people know, that it's that inactivated version of the virus that you get with your flu shot and stuff like that, right? I'm just trying to clarify a little bit.
Well, I think this is a different process. It's mRNA technology.
Right. It's a new technology.
It has not been used to the extent that this has.
Right.
I'm not sure that traditional vaccines have been used to the extent that this has. We've had flu shots for a long time. And if we put billions of shots in people or whatever, I don't know that that's the case. It's different technology. I'm not going to get into the weeds about all that. That's a whole other subject for another day.
Of course.
But it's experimental use, and it's a technology that's been around for a while. I don't remember. I've heard Dr. Malone talk about it. I don't remember when he founded this or kind of discovered this, but it's kind of an ongoing process that, some would say people are human lab rats to be taking this on. I don't know. It's just like, okay, if people are comfortable with that, so be it. Let them have at it. Okay. But the force, the mandate, you can't get admitted into different venues in the city without vaccination status. That's just wrong on at least a couple of levels, So I think that's the trouble people are having with this matter is, they feel like their civil rights are being violated. They can't move around the country free. And how is this, over the last 2 years, flus went away, colds have went away. All these things that were prevalent, in a cyclical pattern every year have suddenly just disappeared. And now it's all the virus, So I think it just makes people begin to question more and more.
You're listening to the WTIM morning show. Your stream is co-sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. More from Representative Browd Halbrook on the WTIM Morning Show in just a moment right here on WTIM, your information station, also streamed online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com on the Facebook page.
Making the move to a senior living community is always a major life change. When you and another family member or friend can move together, this decision and the transition itself becomes a little easier. Hi, this is Erica Lynn, Executive Director of the Villas of Halbrook in Shelbyville. At the Villas of Halbrook, our beautiful 2-bedroom apartments offer you the opportunity to live independently but receive daily help as needed. Call today to tour our 2-bedroom apartments at 774-1040. The Villas of Halbrook, where everyone deserves a great life.
Your season's in full swing and you'll rule the field. Get ready to command the harvest with genuine Case IH solutions and instant savings during the performance event. Trade in, bundle, and finance your way to savings all season long with Precision Farming Solutions. Harvest strong with instant savings on Mud Hog rear wheel assist axle kits and qualifying straw chopper knife kits. And protect your equipment with the proven performance of genuine Case IH lubricants and filters. Save up to $100 instantly with qualifying purchase. Offers vary by month, so don't wait. Visit Berkey's in Shelbyville today and get ready to own the season.
If you're a business owner, insurance is probably one of your biggest headaches and expenses on your bottom line.
At Shelbyville Insurance, we simplify insurance and risk management. We understand that your business is one of your biggest investments, and we take pride in treating your business like our own.
To find commercial property, liability, auto, or work comp coverage, contact me, Derek Hayden,
or me, Garrett Ulmer, at 217-774-2155.
or find us at 210 North Morgan in downtown Shelbyville.
Norrin's Hardware and Paint salutes America's troops and veterans for all the sacrifices they've made. We honor all those who've given their lives in the line of duty. We live in the land of the free only because of the brave, our troops and veterans. We thank you and we salute you. You are our heroes. May God bless you and may God bless America. This military tribute from Norrin's Hardware, 15 Main Street, Pana. Proud to salute all members of our military services.
Tune in to this RFD Radio Network affiliate Saturday mornings from 9:06 until 9:30 when we present the RFD Trading Post to advertise your farm-related items to buy, sell, trade, or give away. Call the toll-free number we give during the show to get your farm-related items advertised across the state and listed on rfdtradingpost.com. And find instructions on getting your farm-related items read on the show in our mailbag segment for 30 days for just $20. The RFD Trading Post, Saturday mornings from 9:06 till 9:30 on this RFD Radio Network station.
Hi, this is Becky Adams with 6th Street Market in Morrisonville. To see our weekly specials, click on our ad on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Hi, this is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. Find out about all the products and services we provide by clicking our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper, your host. Your stream co-sponsored by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. Representative Halbrook, I know a lot of sessions in Springfield have been canceled, but committee work is still underway. What's going on in committee work? Representative Halbrook, are you there?
Sorry about that. So lots of committees have been meeting remotely still. Lots of committee works really as we amp up into, multiple different deadlines that has to be met over the next couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks. Couple of bills that got really hot in the last couple of weeks we'll touch on was House Bill 4244. And again, your listeners can go to ilga.gov. I want to just make mention of that. Go to ilga.gov. And on the left-hand side of the page, they can type in a bill number just simply by putting like HB 4244. It'll take them to that page to where they can see the status, all the activity. But to talk about two bills that were extremely hot in the last couple of weeks was HB 4244. It created a vaccination registry. That bill got so hot that as of this morning, still 35,900 plus witness slips have been filed in opposition. That's a pretty high number. In fact, before it got that number, that bill was actually put into subcommittee where what its future is, I don't know. Hopefully it's not to be seen again this spring. But anyhow, people, I guess the analysis I may see is people may like the face mask. They may like the vaccination. They think that's a proper treatment method or whatever, or preventative method. But it looks like to me with nearly 30,000 opposition whistle slips, people don't want to be a part of a vaccination registry is what it's telling me. That's a large number of people that have taken time to weigh in on that matter.
The first question that comes, sorry to interrupt you. I just had my first question that comes into my mind though is how is in this bill, how it is laid out, and I haven't read the bill, so I wouldn't know. How does this differ from saying, I got, let's see, for example, I was immunized for measles at a young age and it's in my doctor's records. So how would this be different from that?
Yeah, I think that I'm not sure exactly the finer points about that. I think it just would I think those situations probably set up, kind of an individual record, but this would be something that government would be in control of. Okay. That would be it would be a government owned database. The government or whomever would dictate that, hey, youngsters before entering school or at these different age levels have to have these different kinds of vaccines. But I think that record is just with the parents or the family and their medical provider. I don't believe it. Now, I may be wrong in this. It's been a while. I don't believe there is a state or a national database. And I think that's what this would tend to set up as a statewide database of those things. Probably more in the line of Illinois State Police has the FOID and concealed carry database for that licensing thing, probably more in line like that. And we saw what happened with that. ISP was, their data was breached some time ago. Supposedly 2,500 records, were compromised. We see these data breaches all the time. So
right, and not to mention the backlogs too. There were a lot of backlogs with that process for a long time too.
Right.
Yeah.
The other bill that got really hot was 4640, and this would allow for health insurance or health information sharing. And that bill is actually, there's over 21,000 witness slips filed in opposition. It's been put into subcommittee. It was to be heard, I think, just this past Wednesday, 2 days ago. It's been put into subcommittee. Again, people may feel that, they say, I like these other ideas. I just don't want to be part of a registry. I don't want my information shared around. And I think that's the risk that people run, is they are concerned about their personal information being breached and subject to whatever cybersecurity risk that may be there.
So the way I'm reading this synopsis is it makes individuals' personal medical information available to local health departments. I'm, again, making sure I'm not mischaracterizing it. Right.
Again, okay. you're putting a government entity in control of things that the government, I don't believe, really has that. I think that's unprecedented. I don't think there's anything else like that.
Right.
And so, it's
I would
think it's problematic. Yes.
Yeah, I would akin the first bill we were talking about a little bit too, or at least kind of I wanted to add in. I like the reason why you have to, when you switch a medical provider, sign forms and request medical information is because it is a private information and not government accessible. I think that is, I just wanted to kind of throw that in there as a point to make that I think you're absolutely right that there isn't a government entity database on vaccinations, immunizations. Your immunization records are kept private. So anyway, we got to get going here. We're running out of time. Any final thoughts from you, Representative Halbrook?
Yeah, just they can find me at rephalbrook.com. We have an office in Shelbyville and Champaign. The district is rather large, basically from Shelby east. And look forward to hearing from them if there's anything we can help your listeners with. Appreciate your time.
That is Representative Brad Halbrook. Thank you so much for joining the WTIM Morning Show.
You're welcome. Talk soon.
Have a great weekend. Your stream co-sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH Payne and Nokomis.
News this hour.